Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. And today I'm going to talk about something that might feel impossible. Turning something you've already built into real income without working more hours. What a dream, right? Or posting constantly or pushing harder than you need to. I'm going to share how I took an old, unused course, something I had created months ago and never sold, and turned it into $5,000 in sales from just a small ad spend. No re-recording, no rebuilding, no burnout. I'm going to break it down exactly how I aligned my power buyer, my message, my sales, my ad strategy, step by step, so you can apply it to your own business, okay? By the end of the episode, you'll understand why sales are not about hustle and how structure and alignment can create momentum from what you already have. All right, let's dive in. Here's the truth that most people don't want to say out loud. Most businesses don't struggle because the offer is bad. They struggle because the message, the buyer, and the system, they're not aligned. So what happens? You start to question yourself. You wonder, do I need a new offer? Is the price wrong? Am I just not cut out for this? When in reality, you're trying to sell without a clear structure holding everything together. At the beginning of the year, I wanted to add another revenue stream to my one-on-one coaching. Not because I want more hustle, not at all, but because my life is changing. My son is getting older and how we are interacting is evolving. I have to be present at more events and I have to do things that are outside of my workspace and that require more time. So being present for my son and all of the additional responsibilities that are coming as he's about to be 5, so they're just not negotiable. And I grew up with a mom who worked all of the time. I spent a lot of time with my grandma, and even though I understood why, I knew I wanted something different for my son. I didn't want my son to remember me as someone who was always working. So the way I built business, it had to change. And I have always been that kind of person that hustles day in and day out. But once I had my son, I had to hustle and be a mom. And that became my main priority. So the old me would have been like, okay, what's next? What do I create? What do I do? The new me is like, okay, what do I already have? What already exists that could work without demanding even more from me? And that is when I found this old course I had created months ago. I never sold it. And for a moment, the temptation was to assume it wasn't good enough. You didn't sell it because it just maybe you didn't believe that it was good enough to sell. But instead of scrapping it, I just looked at it again with fresh eyes. And I said, okay, the content is not the problem. It's the alignment. I didn't start with any new tactics. I just started with some decisions. I didn't touch ads. I didn't touch Pinterest. I didn't touch pricing. I asked myself 5 foundational questions. Who am I selling to specifically? What is one problem that she's actively trying to solve? How does she describe that problem in her own words? What does success look like to her emotionally and practically, quantifiably? And how can everything point to that? This is where most people skip ahead and it costs them. Most people market like this, right? They talk to everyone. They list multiple pain points. They change messaging every few days. They panic when results are not instant. That creates noise, not trust. And when life is already full, like mine, when you have a toddler running around and it's just, madness from when I put my feet on the floor to when I put my feet up at night. If you are a mom, if you are a caregiver, if you are juggling many responsibilities, It's exhausting. So what you actually want is clarity that you can build on. Here's what I did next. I priced the course at $9.99. It was intentionally accessible, very low cost. I wrote a sales page speaking to that one woman, the one woman who wants to increase her sales but just cannot increase the hustle. I pulled my ad hooks directly from my sales page. And I committed to letting the system learn for 30 days. No tweaking, no emotional spiraling, no giving up after a week. And here's what happened. I had a 15 cents cost per website visit, 2,500 link clicks, 1,931 actual website visits. I spent $289 in ad spend. 500 sales came from that, which was $5,000 generated from a course that I really was going to just delete. I never sold it before. So what matters is that if I had stopped early, if I had panicked during the learning phases, if I had assumed it's not working after a few days, this wouldn't have happened. Because alignment, it needs time to compound. And most people don't fail because the system doesn't work. They fail because they don't give it room. They give up too soon. After this worked, I realized something important. And this wasn't a Pinterest win. This wasn't an ad trick. This was a decision-making framework. So I turned the exact process I used into something simple and repeatable. It's called the One Alignment Framework Worksheet. And it walks you step by step through identifying your power buyer, choosing that one pain that actually drives purchases, writing a sales page that feels like recognition. This is me. That's what you want them to feel like when they're reading it, not persuasion. Creating ad hooks and captions that match your message, and selecting a targeted audience that already agrees with you. I also walk through understanding the 30-day ad commitment so results can compound. Because let's be real, it's an emotional roller coaster when you're running ads sometimes. If you have the right mindset, it all changes because you understand what to expect from day to day. And we all like to know what to expect. We don't really like surprises, especially when it comes to our money. This can work across industries and across platforms, and really across all seasons of life. So imagine you stop guessing, you stop rebuilding everything, you stop wondering if you're doing it right, and instead you have clarity, consistency, confidence in your messaging. Marketing stops feeling emotional. Sales stop feeling random. Your business starts to support your life, not compete with it. That is what I needed in my life. If today's episode gave you clarity and you're thinking, I want to do this, here's what you can do next. I created the One Alignment Framework. It's a fill-in-the-blank system that helps you identify your power buyer, clarify their one real pain point, and align your messaging, sales page, and ads for predictable results. This is not about theory. It's the exact system I used to turn a course that had never sold that I was going to throw away into $5,000 in additional revenue for the month. If you can grab it right now, it's $27, and I'll link it in the show notes. And you can start building your aligned revenue stream today. Remember, marketing doesn't fail. Misalignment does. Align everything once, build it once, solve one problem, and let the system work. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode.